Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Warriors Nation radio show. I'm one of your hosts, Jack.
And I'm one of your other co-hosts, Patrick.
And I'm one of your co-hosts, RJ.
Yes, sir. All right, we're back today. We got a lot to talk about, especially with the NFL, the NBA. There's a lot of college football, too. What else? Some UFC, a little bit of MLB, definitely. And then last 10 minutes, Collins.
Yeah, you
Yeah, it works for me.
Word. All right, so we'll start with the NFL. What do we want to start? Thursday Night Football last week, Jags Saints.
Yep.
All right, so RG, especially you, what did you think about this game?
Well, I've been trying to tell people, right? Like the Jags are finishing the best record in the NFL, and you know what? Like people don't understand how good this team is. Like they're winning to New Orleans and beat them. New Orleans is a very good home team. Like I know they're struggling right now, but still a very quality win by Jacksonville. Like they're 5-2 right now, and Calvin really hasn't even got going yet. Once he gets going, they're gonna be even more dangerous. So I'm liking what I'm seeing right now for the Jags.
All right, bet. So I don't know. Out of that game, I saw one thing I definitely saw is that Calvin Ridley struggled. I mean, he was on my fantasy team. That was again another off week fantasy statistical wise for Calvin Ridley, but the Jags won. I just don't think they should be in that close of a game with the Saints.
I agree, but they still came out with the victory.
They did, but should you be in that close of a game with New Orleans?
At New Orleans, yes. At New Orleans, yes.
It's not. I don't think home advantage is that important when. I mean, the Saints are a team that, probably won't even slip into the playoffs. They could. They're a borderline playoff team, borderline wild card team.
Well, you know how I said they got worse with Kamara? Since Kamara came back, they're 1-3. They only focus on Kamara.
Well, I think that's more of just them not being able to get to their receivers.
They gotta find a way to get
the
to their
O-line
receivers.
play.
I blame the offensive coordinator for that.
Yeah, the ball is getting to Ingram. The ball is getting to Kirk. Who else? ETN's getting the ball.
I'm talking about the Saints.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Not the Jags. I'm talking about the Saints.
Well,
the Saints.
Okay.
They don't. Olave and Michael Thomas. They're probably both of them are probably top 20, 30 receivers in football, and you're not even giving them the ball. You're giving Kamara all the receptions.
Yeah, I definitely say
he's not
Olave.
even getting 100 yards out of these receptions.
Yeah, the volume. It's really the volume there for him. He's so good at being used as a receiving back and a guy who you can just dump off to. So sometimes I think, especially for a guy like Carr behind a struggling O-line, he's just gonna dump it off to Kamara. That's what Kamara is really good for. Why not use him, especially when you can't get the ball to your top tier receivers because of the O-line?
I just think they overused Kamara. That's the only thing.
Well, I feel like that's just a result of the offensive line not being that great. Dennis Allen not being the greatest head coach, his staff not being the greatest, especially offensively.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying. I feel like it is just an Alvin Kamara and Derek Carr show. But they need more weapons. That's not going to win you a Super Bowl. It's not going to win you a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
They need more receivers to get involved.
Yeah, they brought Carr in for a reason. You're not bringing a guy like that in at his age and at his pay grade to just compete to maybe make a playoff spot. No, you want to win that weak division.
They should win that weak division. They have the best roster in that division, in my opinion.
I agree.
They should not be 3-4.
Yeah, I completely
come on.
agree. But
The Saints are way too talented.
The coaching is just not what you want to see from there, and the offensive line play is lackluster. I mean,
terrible.
They haven't been good. They haven't given Carr the chance to get to the ball. Olave. Never mind Olave getting arrested. I mean, that's something else to talk about. But
we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, I agree.
don't really think we need to talk about that right now.
But as far as the Jags go, they're not using Ridley right.
They're not.
They're getting the ball
100%.
to they're kind of playing it like the Cowboys play with Amari Cooper. I feel like, but you're just wasting talent at that point. You can do so much more with that kind of talent at the receiver position. Look what guys like Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Jefferson, anyone like that of that tier, Tyreek Hill, not to mention. This is the era of the receivers where you can get the ball into your receivers' hands and do something with it. And the Jags just aren't doing that with Calvin Ridley. And if you want Trevor Lawrence to hit his full potential, give him that target in Calvin Ridley and let him use him.
The thing is, you know what I've been noticing? You know how Zay Jones been hurt? That doesn't free up the field as much. because with Zay Jones, that's another good wide receiver.
That's
They
true.
only have Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. You can easily have the best corner, and you can always have a safety watching Calvin Ridley. And like Christian Kirk, you go 1-on-1. I feel like he's like a wide receiver 2, a wide receiver 3.
I agree. Yeah, well, what do you think? I think Ridley should be the wide receiver 1.
He's the wide receiver 1.
And then Kirk should be the wide receiver 2. But the way they're using it, they're using Ingram and Kirk as their primary targets, and
because
Zay Jones
Ridley's
is getting.
getting most of the attention.
Well, Zay Jones is
is
getting even more targets than Ridley. That's just unacceptable. Like, what are you scheming up here? I know you can use Ridley to take attention away from the other guys and use them, but it's just when you have a guy like Calvin Ridley, a guy who can run routes like Calvin Ridley can and get open like he can and put up the numbers that he can, you got to use him to win your games. Like, you don't just use him as a decoy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then we'll go into Ravens. They blew out the Lions. How about that?
That game was big.
That's big for the Ravens. Obviously, we were all saying, are they going to get over that hump? I mean, big win against the Lions because the Lions are like, I feel like, such like the hottest team right now just because they're rolling.
Yeah,
One of the hottest teams.
The Lions were on fire. I mean, the offensive line, Jared Goff, everything was working out well. The defense. But now David Montgomery's injured, and you have to face a really, really good team in Baltimore. And I just feel like this is where the quarterbacks win games. You know, Jared Goff versus Lamar Jackson. Who has more of the talent? Who can really run your offense? Because of them, not because of the offensive line, not because of the coaching and everyone's open. No, who can win the games? Lamar Jackson can with his talent. He's electrifying. I mean, there's a reason.
He had a good game. He had a very good game. He needs to throw for 300 yards with those wide receivers.
Yeah.
Tight end he has. You have Zay Flowers, Odell, Bateman, and Mark Andrews. There's really no excuse for not throwing for over 300 yards.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
One thing I want to say about that game, I think the Lions just had a bad game. That's it happens.
You think? All right. Well,
I think it was.
I mean, the Ravens obviously they don't do this every week. I've worried about the passing attack for a bit.
Yeah.
Not because the receivers aren't talented, but it's just the connection hasn't been there.
Hasn't.
Outside of Mark Andrews and even Zay Flowers, Lamar and the passing offense just hasn't been completely legit. But we saw it. I mean, they were rolling against the Lions, and that's a legit team. So.
Yeah, they played well, and man, how about those Patriots? Let's move on. The Patriots stunned the Bills. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
How did they play well?
I mean, a divisional matchup. Josh Allen's not prone to mistakes. I'm not worried about it for Buffalo. They're 4-3 right now.
They're 4-3, but they have a tough schedule.
I feel like this happens sometimes. Like, you have a talented team. This is gonna happen in the division, especially with a team like the Patriots. That game is their whole season. Is it? Like, am I wrong? That game's their whole season.
Can I say something about the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
I really think they're not going to finish as a top 5 team in the AFC. They're not finishing as a top 5 team in the AFC.
Regardless of standing, though, when you get in the playoffs and you have to win the big games against the big teams, I'm taking the Bills over most teams.
I'm not.
Outside of the Chiefs, I don't really know who I'm taking.
I'm taking Jacksonville. I'm taking Miami.
I'm
taking Baltimore.
I'd probably take a healthy Cincinnati. You don't know what you're getting out of Baltimore. Tua limits the Miami offense. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, you still got those 2 wide receivers. I think they have too much firepower.
I'm not too worried about the Dolphins, but man, the Raiders. Brutal. I don't really know how much there is to talk about. Tyson Bagent, multiple touchdowns. He diced the defense up. You want to get into anything there? I mean, Fields.
I don't really know what to really say about the Raiders. I think they're handling the Devontae Adams situation wrong.
Mm-hmm. And then
I think he needs to be traded to a winning team.
Absolutely.
At his age, I think he wants to be contending for Super Bowls, not for a top 15 pick.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a lot going on over there. He's not happy at all. And you've been seeing his last 3 games. He has not been doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. The signing really didn't make any sense.
Nah, it really didn't make sense.
At the time, maybe it did if they were trying to compete with Derek Carr, but obviously that's out the window. I think you should go look for a team that needs him. What are some teams that could trade for him? The Cowboys? I don't know how much value, and I pretty much know that's not going to happen. But if the Cowboys could give up a 2nd-round pick for Devontae Adams, I'd do it in a snap of a finger. I'd do it right now. Yeah. Any other teams come to mind?
Let me try to think real quick.
Buffalo would make sense.
But
I doubt it. I don't know what they give up for that.
Nah.
Kansas City, I doubt they do it.
You know what team can make the most sense? Cleveland. with Deshaun Watson
Cleveland.
coming back. They're actually 4-2 right now.
I like that, but I think I don't know, dude. Deshaun Watson's not the same player he once was.
Yeah, but they're 4-2. They get that good defense. They have a good running game.
True.
I will say something about Devontae Adams. He tried to trade Devontae Adams for CeeDee Lamb. I still think CeeDee Lamb is better. I do.
I don't know, dude.
Only because I think I know I've been bashing Dak Prescott, but I still think Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than the Raiders quarterback.
I agree.
It's
agree.
Brian Hoyer, right? They got Brian Hoyer.
You don't find me praising Dak much, but I will put him
CeeDee's
over
better.
Garoppolo.
I
don't know.
First of
For
all,
a fantasy?
Well, I would rather.
he said overall.
I would rather have CD right now,
my
like
God.
because he has a better quarterback with him. I don't think
Fantasy-wise,
Brian,
I agree.
yes,
But-
that's what I said.
Fantasy-wise. Devontae is so talented.
Even
They both
fantasy-wise, I still wouldn't take CD over Adams. Like,
Right.
with Jimmy G, when he plays, Adam puts up stats. He does put up
are. He
stats.
does put
But,
up
like,
stats. Yeah, we know how talented Adams
Come
is.
on.
He's getting older, though.
Come on,
CD's only...
let's not go
CD's
that far.
really young. Regardless, Steelers, Rams... I'm
Uh,
surprised the Rams lost that, but Kenny Pickett played really well in the
I
fourth
can't believe the
quarter.
Rams lost that. I cannot believe
Did
that.
you watch the fourth quarter?
I
Kenny
kept
Pickett was
track.
slinging, bro. He
I
was
know.
playing very well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Pittsburgh's 4-2 right now.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because of Pickett's play in the fourth quarter. He's been exceptional.
Mike Tomlin, man, just amazing coach.
Mhm.
I just gotta shout
Yeah,
him out.
I
Like,
agree. Matt Canada,
absolutely
not so
incredible
much.
what he's doing with that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Chiefs Chargers, the Chiefs blew him out.
Next.
But yeah,
T Swift, baby, let's
not
go.
too much to talk about there. And then Eagles Dolphins.
Chiefs and Chargers. We know the Chiefs beat the Chargers every year. This is nothing new.
You're right. You're right.
Chargers are struggling though, right? They're
They
like,
are
aren't
still
they
2-4.
like
Yeah,
2-4?
they
That's
are.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's because of Herbert. I think you need to do a better job of protecting him, maybe surrounding him with, better
Yeah.
everywhere. Outside of receiver, I really
Their coaching's terrible.
it's
Terrible.
brutal, dude.
He's
Oh my
terrible.
god.
Stand
The,
up.
the offensive line doesn't hold up for Herbert. The
Nope.
defense sucks.
Eckler hasn't done anything either.
LA is a mess. Besides the fact that they have a generational talent at quarterback and top 5 quarterback at that. Eagles Dolphins though is Sunday Night Football.
That was Eagles beat them pretty easy. I'm
Yeah,
not surprised.
I
We're at
mean-
home, bro.
I think the Eagles really just proved
Yeah.
to everyone who they are. I mean,
Yeah.
they're 6-1, but they've left a lot of doubts. They haven't played as most 6-1 teams have. Maybe the schedule helps them out a little bit, but I mean, they just proved everything against the best offense in the league. Maybe that they're the best offense in the league, Philly. So Hurts played really well, and they proved that they're legit. But Tua, he kind of struggled a little.
He
Like,
did struggle.
he didn't play great. Tua's the problem for the Dolphins offense for me. That's why I don't believe in them as Super Bowl contenders. And then Monday night, Kirk Cousins, he was able to lead the.
He won a primetime game. I can't
Yeah,
believe it.
It's crazy without Jefferson
Uh,
and against the 49ers. But I told you guys a few weeks ago, the 49ers aren't as invincible as everybody says because they get banged up.
yeah, I
they-
know. They can't stay healthy.
And, when you're banged up, you need your quarterback to win you games. And that's just something Brock Purdy can't do. So that's my take on that game.
I mean, they're still 5-2. I'm not gonna like.
They are. I'm not worried about them, but
Nah.
when they get banged up, Brock Purdy's not going to come in and save them. And most teams do get banged up. Most teams aren't perfect come playoff time, come Super Bowl time. So, yeah. So that does week 7 for the NFL. Week 8, we could probably talk about for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes.
We have like 2 minutes left on the
Let's
time.
All right, but we got Bucks Bills tonight. Let's just talk about that, and then we can run back to any NFL
I got the
we need to.
Bills winning by like 4 to 7 points.
I got the Bills winning by a touchdown or 2.
Yeah, 2.
I think Josh Allen bounces back. Like I said, that was a divisional game they just lost. Happens all the time, especially against the Belichick coach
Yeah.
defense. From the beginning, Adrian Phillips, that pick, it just threw him off.
Yeah.
And again, tough divisional game. It's a rivalry. The Pats, they were fighting for like their whole entire season. They had everything to prove. The Bills, they've been doing this for years. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm skipping down a little bit, but I do want to say before this segment ends, the Patriots have the Dolphins this week. So we'll just say they lose. I think they will lose, but then look at their next few schedule. They have the Commanders, Colts, Giants. If they lose, right, they're gonna be 2-6, correct?
Yeah, 2-6.
So, could they go into the Chargers game 3
No.
No, not 3.
They-
What is it?
5
and 6.
No.
Potentially.
Well, who do
Dude, if
So you're
they
saying-
play like they played in the Buffalo game, There's a chance. There's a chance.
So you're saying-
I still have a little bit of hope.
The thing
here.
is, though, I don't really think the Patriots played that well in the Buffalo game. They ran the ball decently. Mac Jones had open receivers, and that's what happens when you protect
I
them.
think they played a good game. I'm not gonna.
They played
I
fine,
think
but
they
I
played
mean,
well.
did they play exceptional? I don't think so.
To
I'm
be
not
honest,
taking them to beat the Dolphins.
I think that was just one of those games.
I agree. I think they'll come out with 5-6 wins on the season. I don't think we really looked at the Patriots and said they're going to win 3 games.
I think the Colts will probably beat us too, to be honest.
Minshew's a good quarterback. I think the Colts will take care of him. But another game I just wanted to talk about real quick is Rams Cowboys. I think this is a really good opportunity for Dak Prescott to prove himself
They're
because
coming off a bye. They got to win by 2 touchdowns.
exactly you got to. I mean, the Rams just lost to the Steelers. Not that the Steelers are horrible. I mean,
Steelers are good.
yeah, you know what I said about Kenny Pickett, but Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they're held to higher standards. I get the Rams are a really good team, especially offensively. They can do anything. I just want to see Dak Prescott play well. That's what I want to see. Because if Dak has a good game against the Rams, who play a lot of zone coverage, where he really struggles, that's good for the Cowboys. I just don't think he can do it. I don't think he can do it. I think it's going to be another one of those games where Dak comes out, looks mid. The Cowboys maybe win by a few points, but it's not convincing about anything.
Yeah, and we'll go back to the NFL, but we have to move on. NCAA Football Week 8 review. This is going to be a very, very tough segment for me today. I pretty much will have the mic for most of this. Ohio State destroyed Penn State, unfortunately. Tough game to watch. I was slamming my clicker. The TV almost got broken, but I held myself to make sure that didn't happen. I was very mad. My roommate was actually next to me. I was kind of going crazy.
Good man for not breaking the TV.
I kind of felt bad, but yeah, they did not play well. If you wanna know about the game, go into the Beacon. I just wrote an article out about it on it. So take a look at that if you want. Yeah, they didn't look good at all. Ohio State's defense just dominated. They played really well. Drew Aller was like 1 for 13 on 3rd down. Just horrible. They only had 1 touchdown. But Penn State's defense did play well. I will say that against Ohio State. But their offense has to get going. And yeah,
Hey.
we'll just move. Anything else you want to say? I mean, I know
The defense did play well though.
I was confident on Penn State.
20-12. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you know, normally that's not what happens in these games. Ohio State takes a big lead, the offense goes crazy. So I mean, I know you said Penn State was going to win, but you definitely did have a point that if anything's going to happen, it's going to be this year. The defense played great.
I will say Drew Aller is still young. He's only a sophomore. He's 19. I feel like he has a future, and I will go on to that next. What is Penn State and James Franklin's future?
Well, do you think without will they ever beat Ohio State?
So I am going to give Penn State one last chance next year. If they can't do it, you gotta blow it up. You gotta fire James Franklin. He's done. He's done. I mean, they're not gonna beat them. Drew Aller's supposed to be the man, and he played awful on last Saturday. So I think I will give James Franklin one last year to beat them. If they can make the Big Ten championship next year, I think maybe you stick around for a little bit. Maybe they go on a run like Michigan's going on, which we'll get into that in the next segment. They might be cheating, but I don't know. I'm just gonna say that I think give them 1 more year.
I'll be honest about Penn State. Like, I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna give you the mic back. I think that James Franklin been there for a long time, and if Penn State can't beat Ohio State next year too, or like even in 2 years, like if Ohio State just keeps beating them, I think you gotta change it up. Like, you just can't go 10-2 every year. That's not gonna get you a national championship. Like, I mean, to win a national championship, you gotta go like 11-1 or like 12-0 to make the college football playoffs with 4 teams. Now, they are changing the format to 8 teams, but I'm saying like all these years they lost to Ohio State,
It's 12.
cost them playoff appearances. You know what I mean?
It's going to 12 next year. Right?
8. I thought it was
I
8.
thought
Is
it
it
was-
12 or 8?
I thought it was 12.
I
mean, look it
Yeah,
up.
someone fact check that. Which gives Penn State. I mean, if this goes to 12, they should make it.
If
They should. I would imagine. I mean,
12 teams, yeah.
Next year's 12.
Yeah,
team structure.
Yeah.
But to what you were saying, I feel like
And at the next show, we will have the first college football rankings. They come out on Tuesday. So that's big.
I agree, Archie. I mean, like they keep running back the same product. It feels like it kind of feels like the Dallas Cowboys, but you know, I always have to bring it back to the Cowboys. There's a lot of relatable stuff. But regardless, like, are they gonna change it up? There's a 12-team format coming in, so how much do you need to change it up? You know?
Yeah.
You can maybe get in there now with two losses. Who knows? Maybe 3 losses.
So you want to be like a low seed and end up playing the 5 or 6 seed. I think the first 4 seeds get a bye. I think that's how it works now. The 5 will play the 12, 6 plays 11, 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9. I think that's how they're doing it.
I'm not sure.
Well, if they're doing it like that, you don't want to be a 12 seed. So.
But I mean, it's just crazy to me because like even if Penn State beats Michigan, because Ohio State beat them, they can't even win the Big Ten East, and it's crazy to me. Like I know this seems a little ridiculous, but if you put Penn State in the Big Ten West, they would win every year. They would. That's such an easy conference. The Big Ten West is a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Because the East has Ohio State, Penn State, and Ohio State. No, sorry, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. So it's like, it's one of those teams is gonna like win that. I don't know. I'm just still mad about that. I would love to see Penn State in the Big Ten West.
I get it.
But we'll move on. Alabama beat Tennessee, and their defense looks good. I'm saying this right now. They are going to the SEC championship. Bama's going to the SEC championship. They are beating LSU.
Man.
They're doing it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Dude. I mean, like, I'm gonna say that it's probably gonna be wrong. They're probably gonna lose because, like, I've already been wrong before. But you know, I mean, I think it's gonna happen. Alabama looks good. Their defense looks good. Their offense is getting better. I will say that. So,
That's for sure.
Can they beat Georgia right now? No. But all right, RG's bringing up the Alabama schedule. So.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. I think the only game I can see them losing, or honestly, I think they win at home versus LSU. They're at home.
They're not better than LSU though.
I don't think they're better than LSU, but they're at home, so I think they're gonna win by field goal.
What's with you though in home advantage? Like
I
take
feel
it
like
a little.
it makes.
He was right in the Ohio State game though. He was.
Yeah,
I feel like it makes
Ohio
a big
State is the
impact,
favorite
though.
team. It does make an impact, but
I just think it makes
how
a
big of an impact, dude?
Like the fan noise, calling your plays.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's just hard to call plays and stuff.
There's
the
a
false
reason-
starts. Like I mean, I don't know.
that's true. But I just you can't just say because they're at home. You know, I feel like there should be a little bit more reasoning, or else we wouldn't be debating anything
That's
else.
true. That's true, bro.
Because,
So
like,
I feel like Alabama has 2 more tests left in the season. They have LSU, and listen, it's the Iron Bowl. We all know that history. That's always a very close game. It's a rivalry. It's not going to be an easy game, and it's also at Auburn. So I'll put that in perspective. But I do think they're going to make the SEC championship. They will finish 11-1. It's my prediction.
11-1.
What about Kentucky? Kentucky's not a bad team.
Yeah.
They gotta go at Kentucky still.
I wouldn't worry about them as much though.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Well,
I feel like
that's not a cakewalk game.
I wouldn't worry about it. Knowing Alabama, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd worry more about the LSU game where Jaden Daniels, you got to worry about him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know I've said it before. Jalen Milroe, he's not my favorite. Jaden Daniels is someone I am kind of high on. So, I just, in a year where Alabama's struggling because of the quarterback play, I got to go LSU. But, I mean, other than that, like, who are they playing this week?
LSU, Alabama's playing.
Okay, that's this week. All right, yeah, I take LSU.
I think LSU's the better team, but I mean, like I said, I don't know.
If you think LSU's the better team, though,
I do think they're the better team, but winning in Bama is not like easy.
that's true. Tennessee did it last year. No,
Tennessee didn't do it.
You're right.
They're
You're right.
At Tennessee.
You're right.
When was the last time a team actually won at Bama?
Let me see.
Was it LSU?
I know I say home field, but when was the last time a team actually won at Alabama?
I think LSU might have beat
It's
them.
been a minute though, hasn't it? I could be wrong, but I mean,
When was the last time a team won at Alabama? Doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me. But regardless, we got Florida State. They beat Duke. No surprise there. I mean, that's one of the best teams in the country with one of the best quarterbacks in the country going up against an injury-riddled team.
Yeah,
that's not as good as
who
them in
is?
the first place.
God, I can't remember his name. That's bad. I should have had it.
Did
Riley Leonard. That's
Riley
right.
Leonard,
He
yeah.
he tried to play on his bad ankle. He didn't. It didn't really work for him. But shout out. He played really well. They had the lead in that game, and I think if he was healthy and they stayed in, Duke would have won that game. I'm actually serious. I really think they would have.
And that's why.
But I feel like Riley Leonard, he plays next year. I think he's a senior, but maybe he can go into his 5th year. Duke might be really good next year.
I've just seen.
If he could stay healthy. He's an amazing quarterback.
I've seen too much to believe in Florida State. I've seen too much. They almost lost to BC. They almost lost to Duke.
But North Carolina just lost to Virginia, so they're going to win the ACC.
They're going to win the ACC, but I think my point is...
Oh, they're not going to win the championship.
My point is that they play in the
chance.
ACC. Like,
yeah.
Here, so what are the rankings right now? Are they at...
They're at 4.
They're at 4, okay.
The
so
fake rankings, the real rankings come out Tuesday. We all
True.
know that.
If Florida State played Georgia, they're getting killed. I think they're getting killed by Michigan and Ohio State, too. I'd love to see them play Washington or Oklahoma. I'd love to see that. But I've seen too much to believe in them.
It depends who Florida State plays, I feel like. If they play Georgia, they're going to lose. But
Yeah.
if they play, I think they can compete with Michigan. TCU beat Michigan last year.
That's true. That is true.
And TCU plays a much weaker conference.
I think TCU last year was better than Florida State is this year.
They probably are, but not defensively. But offense, yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. But still.
It's not really like a defensive conference TCU's in.
It's just, overall as a team, we've seen Florida State be in too many battles with teams just not on their par.
I mean, that was a big win versus Duke. I know they're at home. I understand that. But they still won by, 2 touchdowns. So, the only game on their schedule I see them losing is at Florida.
I don't think they're going to lose, but
I
don't
think they
believe in
could.
them. They could, yeah.
They
That's the
could.
thing.
I'm
I
a
just
fan
don't
of
believe
them.
in
I'm
them.
saying that.
I don't think they can win a playoff game. I don't think they can get to the national championship.
Like I said, depends who they play.
They're not going to get to the national
There's no
championship.
chance. Travis is great,
And,
but
well, this is quickly because I want to get into it. We only have 2 minutes left. Utah beat USC, but Caleb Williams didn't look good.
it was a good game, though.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Good game.
But let's get into the Michigan sign stealing scandal. It's been all over the news. This is not Sports Illustrated that I looked up, but they had a good article. But it's the same vein, pretty much. ESPN reported that Connor Stallions, he worked for Michigan. He used to be an assistant coach. This is according to FanNation.com. It says he purchased tickets to 30 games involving Big Ten teams, and he was actually just at the Ohio State-Penn State game, and I guess he's been stealing plays. The Michigan analyst also reportedly purchased tickets to the both 2021 and 2022 SEC championship games that both featured the Georgia Bulldogs. So, I was really trying to think about what I was going to say to this, but I just don't know. And just looking at Michigan's record, it kind of in a way seems like they are cheating. They've only let up 10 points in their games. Only let up maybe this team's legit, but then again, I was thinking how many other college football programs are doing this? Is it just them, or I don't know. Were they just stupid enough to get caught? That's the problem. I just don't know.
I think they were just stupid enough to get caught.
I feel like so
everybody's
many
got an
teams are
iPhone
doing
in this day and
this.
age. Remember this happened with the Patriots a few years ago. I'm not reading too much into it. I feel like it happens all the
My
time.
take on this, I just feel like the Michigan situation, a lot of teams do it, but Michigan just got caught.
That's what I'm saying.
The Astros got caught too for for sign stealing and other stuff. So yeah, I think Michigan just made a mistake. To be honest, they're probably gonna get punished for something. They're gonna get something.
Yeah, they definitely should be, especially when you're the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah,
Can't be doing that.
But and then I'll say quickly before we get into the NBA. But then again, they just beat Ohio State for the first time in 8 years, 2 years ago. So then again, you have to put that in. Were they using these signs just to get over the hump and beat them and make the playoff? Because they have been really good.
I don't know.
For the last 3 years. I just don't know how to feel about this.
It's so tough.
It's
to
just
say.
weird.
It's
Now,
so tough
if
to say.
they do get caught, Jim Harbaugh is probably going to be fired.
You think they just fire him?
Yeah, I think he's just.
It's just
gone.
I mean, this has happened. This has happened in sports a lot of times.
I know it has.
And I feel like the coaches don't take too much heat for it because at the end of the day, I feel like it happens. It happens all the time, and everybody knows that. And everybody has an iPhone nowadays. Everybody can see the sideline. There's always going to be stuff happening. It's just what comes to light. I feel like that's what it's about.
We're moving on to the NBA, right?
All right, bet.
I've been very excited
Me too.
to talk about the NBA.
All right.
And you know, I want to start off with the Indiana Pacers.
Why are we starting off with the Pacers after
Because
the way the
what I
Celtics played last night?
Well, because I want to
All
say,
right, well, I'll let you get into that.
like I said, man, the Indiana Pacers will be making the NBA playoffs this year. I'm loving what I'm seeing. You got Buddy Hill as your sixth man. You got Ben. How do you say his last name, Jack?
Ben Mathurin.
Mathurin's
a good player.
I love Mathurin.
Ben Mathurin reminds me a lot of a guy like Mikal Bridges, OG
Yeah, he reminds me of
Anunoby.
Mikal Bridges a little
He
bit.
could be a really good two-way wing
He's
in
only a
this league.
second-year player. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, he's good. Didn't he
They
average
have
like 20 last year?
Huh?
Didn't he average like 20
He
last
came off the
year?
bench last year.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to
Then
him.
you got Bruce Brown, who I think should be very well with them.
Mhm.
And then
Miles Turner.
Halliburton, Jalen Smith, Aaron Nemhard. Like, they have T.J. McConnell,
Andrew Nemhard, Aaron Neesmith.
Neesmith.
Buddy Hield, man.
They have a top five bench
They got
in the
Obi
East.
Toppin. This team reminds me a lot of last year's Knicks.
They do.
They're not as talented. That's for sure. They don't have a Julius Randle.
You don't need to be as
Archibald.
talented to make the playoffs in the East. You could be a 7th seed or 8th seed.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe even 6.
this team reminds me a lot of the Knicks. I feel like they are going to get into that playoff spot, make a little bit of noise. But if they play a team like the Bucks or the Celtics, the Heat, I don't see them winning more than 2 games against any of those teams.
I don't think
If
so
even,
either, but-
if even.
I think they can win 2 games against the top team in a playoff series.
Again, depending on the matchups.
Yeah, it depends.
You know, I'd
They
like
do
to see
give the
them.
Celtics a hard time, the Pacers.
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
Tyrese
But-
Halliburton's a Celtics killer. So,
But I'm not too worried about it, to be
I'm
honest
not
with
either.
you. Halliburton's a great player. I think maybe he could make an All NBA team this year. I think he probably does.
Oh, he definitely will.
Definitely will.
Oh, 100%.
Mathurin, I don't think he's. The only thing, I don't see anybody else in this lineup that can make an All-Star game or even really make a
They
case
have
for it.
all good players, though. They're not
That's
terrible.
the thing, and that's why I said they're a playing team. But
I think
even
they
in a
get 6.
series against the Hawks, who wins that?
The Pacers.
You can't say that for sure because they got Trey Young, DeJounte
They
Murray.
don't. I don't like
Capella.
the backcourt. They don't.
No, I completely agree. They're not going to go far, but
They're not. They don't fit in.
for a team like the Pacers, I don't know how serious.
I'm taking the
they
Pacers
are.
backcourt as a better fit than the Hawks.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying talent-wise, but as a
Completely agree.
fit-wise, I am taking Bruce Brown and Tyrese Halliburton over Trey Young and Jonathan.
And then they got Benedict Mathurin, Buddy
Yep.
Hield, Aaron Neesmith.
But he has 6 men.
Yeah, who knows though? I mean, Mathurin could be the 6-man. Hill could start. Then you got.
They're probably. I like Hill off the bench.
And then
man.
Bruce Brown. You don't know what's gonna happen with that. You don't know.
He's a very good. People don't realize how good he is.
No, I realize those 4 are really good players.
You know,
I just
people
don't know who's
don't
gonna
realize-
start.
Like, I think they can make noise this year. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Well,
But anyways, the Boston Celtics being the New York Knicks last night.
Yeah.
I was absolutely ecstatic
I was-
with Kristaps Porzingis.
I was ecstatic
I
with
was
Porzingis too.
absolutely loving the way he plays. He's much better than Robert Williams. I'm sorry for everyone who's a Robert Williams fan, but Kristaps does everything.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Williams can step out
He
and
can't
shoot
shoot.
three. Hey, this is a message to my friend Daniel right here.
All right, go ahead.
This is a message to Daniel because I remember last year we would be sitting in the sauna at the gym and I'd be like, man, if Robert Williams could just add a 3-pointer,
I know.
the Celtics would be great. And he's like, we don't need that. He should be focused on that. Look what we have now. We got Kristaps Porzingis, a Robert Williams who can stretch the floor. He may not be as good of a rim protector as Williams, but Williams is a top 5 rim protector in the league. Porzingis can step out and shoot the 3. He can create his own shot. I mean, he's an all-star.
I think Porzingis is a phenomenal rim protector.
He's out.
He had 4
absolutely.
blocks last night.
Yeah, I just wouldn't put him over Williams. Williams
No,
is great.
I
But
think he's top 10,
4
15
blocks,
still.
4 blocks, and what he can do offensively, and he can even switch on to the perimeter and guard better than
You
Williams.
know what I love? When they do the pick and roll, Kristaps Porzingis pops up for a 3-pointer, swish. Works every time.
I
you
love it.
can't
pick and
contest
pop.
Kristaps Porzingis 3-pointer.
And
He's too tall.
And then you look at the other guys. I mean, if he's running at the 5 and we're playing Holiday, White, Brown, and Tatum,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna feed Porzingis. That's
Yep.
gonna be awesome. I mean,
Yep.
whether he's getting rebounds, where he's anchoring the defense, where he's putting up that offensive production that he did last night. What do you have? 30 points,
30 points, yeah.
8 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
And then we have Drew Holiday, who didn't even do anything, and we beat a playoff team. So I'm ecstatic with the Celtics as well.
I just want to say, I was watching the game of RG, and he was going crazy. He threw his water bottle at one point. This guy's so entertaining when you watch a Celtics game. Anyway, that tech call at the end of the game, that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What'd they say? It taunted, right? They said it was taunting.
Yeah. What do you want Kristaps to do in that position?
It's
Come
insane.
on, that was like a flop.
No, but that was not taunting at all.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
Absolutely
taunting.
not. It was a horrible
Biggest
call.
flop, I'll say.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
No,
That was not.
I heard they took one of his technical fouls away.
As
He
they
was supposed to
should.
be ejected last night, Kristaps Porzingis. Apparently he had 2 techs, but I guess they took one of them away.
As they should have. I mean,
Like,
that was.
it was kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie, that technical foul.
Yeah, that was
But,
ridiculous. What else we got?
I
for
mean,
the-
Hartenstein, man, he's a dog.
He's a
But
good player.
He's a dog. That's all I
But
have
the
to say
thing
about
with the
him.
Knicks, and this reminds me of the Pacers, they're not true contenders. They
I
got
never
one
said they were
star.
Pacers were
They got a
contenders.
second guy. No, I know. I compared them. Like I think they're
Yeah,
very
they're
similar.
similar.
Obviously,
they're
the Knicks
similar,
are better.
bro.
But you can't just stash up all these great players on your team, and expect to compete for a championship.
Well,
You
the
need
Pacers are
star power.
rebuilding still.
Well, yeah, the Pacers are.
They're
But
gonna
the Knicks
they're
are.
gonna make the playoffs. But I'm
Like, what
saying,
are the
like,
Knicks doing? Are they kind of wasting their time in mediocrity?
I think they should trade Julius Randle to the Knicks.
I
I
agree.
really
I
do.
mean, you look at them.
You've been having him for the past 5 years? He's been on the Knicks, right? And he can't get you over the hump. He goes to sweep in the playoffs. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. We've seen this against the Hawks when they lost to Trae Young in 5 games. Versus the Miami Heat, he disappeared. That's all I have to say about him. I don't know where he was. Like, he doesn't show up in big games.
Yeah.
I don't see the Knicks going anywhere.
I completely agree. My take on the Knicks is that Brunson's a great 1B. I think the Mavs should have kept him.
yeah,
But,
I agree with
but
that.
he's obviously the number 1 option in New York.
Well, obviously.
You have all these great players, right? Barrett and Randall are good players.
Yep.
But they're supposed to be in these star roles. They're in these star roles taking all the shots. But Barrett and Randall are not those guys. Let's be real. They're more of
No,
like a
they're
third
not.
and fourth option to
On a
to a
championship team?
Brunson and a guy that's better than Brunson if you're trying to win a championship.
If the Knicks ever get one more guy, I guess he didn't get over the hump. But
Yeah, but you're gonna have to give up Randall and Barrett to get a guy worth that. I think.
I think you need like a free agent you got to sign. I don't think they can make a trade for anybody.
Maybe. I mean, I just don't see Barrett and Randall
Winning
being
you a chip, no. I don't
maybe
see it.
as like the 4th and 5th best player on
Nah.
the team, but whereas they're the 2nd and 3rd best players on the team, that's not happening. And that's why I'm not that
Speaking
high on
of
the
Randall,
Knicks.
last night he played terrible. He disappears in big games. I've been saying this.
Always, as he always does. He's not that guy. He's
He's not.
talented. He's not that
He's
guy.
supposed to be a number 1 or number 2 guy in the Knicks.
And it's
He
like-
disappear.
And it's like RJ Barrett just took that gene from him, which sucks.
I
Like,
know.
It feels like he just became the same player. But
I mean, Barrett didn't play that bad last night, but Randall shot 5 for 22 last night. You're not winning
That's awful.
when you shoot 5 for 22.
it's awful. But
5
then-
for 22 he shot.
You say Barrett didn't play that bad, and yeah, sure, he didn't play that bad, but he's supposed to be the number 1 or 2 guy on that team.
I know, but I put more blame on Randall for taking
Oh yeah,
22 shots.
100% agree. Randall's a joke. With
He's
all
the
due
most
respect.
overrated player in the NBA.
Yeah, but
He's so overrated.
I feel like he gets enough slander. I feel like it's.
I don't think he does. He's just. I wouldn't want him as my number 1, number 2 option. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you know who else played bad
I
last
don't
night?
either. Absolutely.
And
not.
I'm sorry. I love Jaylen Brown, but he was terrible last
Yeah,
night.
he didn't play well.
He was terrible.
Holiday and Brown didn't have big games.
No, I disagree with you on Holiday. Holiday defensively, he shut
Defensively,
down. Defensively shut down Brunson when he was on
No.
him, Barrett when he was on him, and Randall.
No, I know that. Complete credit to Holiday defensively. I'm just
He is
talking
the best defender on our team
Yes.
by far.
in the league, but
I don't know about the league. But
maybe,
definitely on our team.
but that's a conversation.
I
for a different
have
day.
I have a little bit of a bold take here. You guys might think I'm crazy, but Porzingis, the way he played, you know, obviously we call Tatum the leader in Boston, but could Porzingis like take that role and like
No.
I don't
No.
know though. He played really
No.
well
Well,
yesterday.
he can be
though.
that. Well,
I
I
don't
think a
know,
better
man.
question to ask is is Porzingis the number 2 guy now?
I think he could turn into the number 1 guy. I'm serious. He put up 30 points. He hit some really big shots.
Absolutely.
That was a dagger in the 4th.
Yeah, but
he could maybe be the number 1 guy. I'm saying that right now.
hell no.
I also think Tatum's overrated. So.
Hell no.
What?
Get that out
Tatum
of here.
had an
Get that
amazing
out of
game
here,
last
bro.
night.
Tatum's
Tatum
a
had
top
an
5
amazing
player
game.
in the NBA.
Come
Tatum's
on.
a top 5 player in the
Porzingis
NBA.
is the number 1 option.
Look,
That's terrible.
You put Porzingis on the Wizards and he just gives you 24 a night and you don't make the playoffs.
Yo,
Let's be
I
real.
just want to go back to Holiday. Randall shot 1 for 10 when he was on him. Brunson was 0 for 4. RJ Barrett was 1 for 4.
All the credit in the world to Holiday
Wow,
defensively.
but 2 for 18
hey,
when he was guarding them.
Obviously, here's the thing. Obviously, Brown and Holiday are going to be better offensively than they were last night. Porzingis' numbers are going to fall off a little bit. Tatum's probably not going to be putting up 34 a game.
No, I know one thing that, sorry to interrupt real quick, but I want to, say, if Pat said Porzingis could be a number 2 option,
That's what I'm saying.
that is a possibility.
That's a good conversation.
That's a good conversation to have.
That's
Would you rather him or Jaylen Brown as a number 2 option?
Porzingis
Well,
all day.
Well, it's difficult because Porzingis isn't a guy you can just put the ball in your hands and say you're a number 2 scorer. Jaylen Brown is.
Yeah, well.
Porzingis, though, I don't want to take away from him because he could literally put up 23, 24 a night on this team, and we could be the 1st seed. And Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown's a guy you put the ball in the hands of, and he's creating his own shot.
Well,
and that's another reason why I wasn't sure if we should be signing Jaylen to all that money.
I don't think we should have.
But
I still don't think we should have.
But hey, I mean, regardless, this team is stacked. We looked great last night.
Well, you know what? One thing about Jaylen Brown, he played good defense last night, but he only had 11 points in 38 minutes. You're getting paid. What is he getting paid? $50 million a year now.
Yeah.
I got high expectations for you.
That's fair. Yeah, he needs to be better. That's absolutely no doubt. But I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Celtics.
All I'm trying to say is we've seen the playoffs with Jason Tatum. He sometimes doesn't play well in the playoffs.
No, he got.
What
injured,
I'm trying to
bro.
say is, if you give the ball to Porzingis in that situation, he could win the game. Say Tatum is not having a good game. You put the ball in Porzingis' hands. I think that could be the difference.
I think you put the ball in Brown's hands before you put the ball in Holiday.
There's a difference.
No, I would put it in
Absolutely.
Porzingis' hands instead of Brown. Brown is no.
Well,
no.
maybe you could drop a play for Porzingis and get him open down the 3-point line or something. But Porzingis isn't a guy you could just put the hands in. And
Porzingis can't create his own shot.
Exactly.
He's a
That's
catch
what I'm
and
saying.
shoot.
Exactly.
Pick
And,
and roll.
and hey,
He
that's
can't create
great.
his
He's
own
gonna be amazing for us, but he's not the number 2 option.
He can't create his own shot like Brown. That's the thing.
After one Celtics game, Porzingis is better than Tatum.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
saying that right
man.
now.
No, come on.
Come on.
No, come
Tatum
on.
still had more points than him last night too.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Tatum can create his own shot.
Porzingis, though, I mean, I don't want to discredit him. That's the thing. But when you start saying he's better than Tatum, Tatum is a top 5 player in the National Basketball Association.
100%.
Not in the playoffs though.
Yes,
no
he
chance.
is, bro.
No.
Obviously,
no,
we
not
have.
in the playoffs.
He's left some stuff to be desired in the playoffs, but he's still younger. I mean, Jaylen Brown had the chance last year in Game 7 when Tatum went down, and the blame falls on Jaylen last year. I don't know why we're hating on Tatum.
If Tatum can stay consistent, he should win MVP.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think
If
this
he-
is the
if-
year for
that's a
Tatum's
big if.
MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not worried about his consistency in the regular season. I'm worried
I
about his
am,
consistency in the
sometimes.
playoffs a little bit, not in the regular season.
If he can stay consistent in the regular season for all 82 games or most
Well,
games,
he does.
he's winning MVP.
He does stay consistent in the regular season. That's the thing. He doesn't drop off until the playoffs. If you want to argue that.
I mean, a little bit, but I'm saying if he can average 27 to 30 points.
Here's my thing. Tatum is great, and I think he's consistent in the regular season. He's gonna average. Maybe the numbers will go down a little bit with Porzingis and Holiday
I
here.
hope so.
He's probably gonna average 27,
Yeah,
28, something more like that. But if you put Tatum on his own team, he can give you 34, 35 a night.
Oh yeah.
Let's be real.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he can do that consistently, efficiently throughout the regular season. But when we get to the playoffs, he can leave some stuff to be desired. Not because he's just trash and falls off, but like Pat said, the inconsistency in the playoffs. Definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Definitely something he needs to improve if we're going to win a championship.
Definitely.
But
Are we doing call-ins? What are we doing?
yeah, let's get some calls going.
What's the phone number?
Yeah, the phone number should be on the. It's on the computer.
Let me see.
Left.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
It's where it's the orange.
Oh my God, why do I keep forgetting this? No, all right. So number 978
Yep.
296 3245. So again, 978 296 3245. So if you want to call in, have any questions, basketball, football, anything else, we got our first
got a
caller.
Yeah, we have a caller. Put him on.
Yo, what's up? All right, so we got James Hollis calling in. He wants
Turn
to
it
talk
up.
to Pat.
Talk to Pat. Yep. Go ahead. Take the mic.
James. Yeah, so James doesn't
Porzingis
agree.
will be better than Tatum come playoff time.
What?
Jason Tatum is not a,
Alright.
is not a playoff
Sure,
player.
sure.
He's a season player. Porzingis will be better than Tatum come playoff time. I'll
Better?
say that right now.
Better?
Yes.
What do you?
He's saying better in the playoffs. That's what he's trying to say.
Porzingis will
Probably
be
will
better
not
than
be better
Tatum
in
in
the
the
playoffs.
Like
playoffs.
more consistent.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes.
That's a fair take, but better, like more overall impactful of a player on the basketball game.
Yes.
I don't see
Yes.
that though.
So
Porzingis can't create his own shot.
Yeah, exactly. Who's gonna be that guy? Because Tatum sets everything up, whether he's
Yeah.
shooting it or he's passing it. He's the guy. He's our superstar two-way wing. He's averaging 30. What's changing there?
Okay, I did not realize that Porzingis could shoot from the three, and he did. He played unreal. He hit a lot of three-pointers yesterday. He's good in the pick and roll. Yeah, I understand Tatum sets that up, but when it comes to being a scorer down the stretch in a playoff game, I would rather have Porzingis.
So,
I would.
You can't just put the ball in Porzingis' hands, though.
No, I know that. I get that.
But so you like just running it through Porzingis a little bit more, getting him open. I completely agree with that.
So I would say Tatum runs the offense, but I think you feed Porzingis more.
Oh, completely
That's what I'm trying
agree.
to say.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
I think that's why we brought Porzingis in. It's going to be
Yeah.
great for us, help us get to that championship. But I can't justify saying Porzingis is better than Tatum.
Oh, he's not even close to better than Tatum.
Hell no.
Not even close. Like.
Hey, you all will see when the playoffs come. Porzingis will be better than Tatum, okay?
All right.
I promise you. All right, keep calling in.
Yeah, keep going, man.
Say the
Well,
number
wait
again.
though. We could talk a little bit more about NFL.
I mean,
What do you
come
guys
on.
got for your top 5 MVP candidates in the NFL right now? Because I think you can narrow it down to Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua. McCaffrey's in that conversation, but I think McCaffrey, Goff, Purdy, they've kind of fallen out. So my top 5 in order is going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's Patrick Mahomes. He's the reason that the Chiefs are dominating the NFL.
Oh, we just had a call. What happened?
My fault. I'm putting Lamar Jackson at 2, Jalen Hurts at 3, Trevor Lawrence at 4, and Tua at 5. Whoever called in, give us a call back.
Yeah, give us a call back.
Yeah, call back.
Come on.
I don't really know what else to say here.
Yeah, just say the number again. What's the number again?
978-296-3245. 978-296-3245. Here we go.
Oh God.
Who's this?
Hello.
What's up, Josh? Bold take. Okay. Listen, I want to respond to this. You got the Seahawks winning the division. All right, I had the Seahawks in my top 5 teams. You guys know that. But something's holding them back. It's Geno Smith. Geno Smith is holding them Seahawks back.
He's been terrible.
He's another Dak Prescott. A great elite team held back by the quarterback's lack of great play.
You know what? With Frank Clark, they just signed Frank Clark.
That's another great play.
They can win the division. Why can't they win the division?
That could be a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense if the quarterback is there.
I don't think that's a bad take at all. I think that can happen. With the injuries with the Niners too? With the injuries too right now.
Josh, I love that take. It's just Geno, man. I'm looking at it and he's truly holding that offense back. You've got an elite defense led by Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, and you just add Frank Clark. I mean, that defense is elite. And then you got Lockett. He's exceptional.
Witherspoon's a top 10 corner.
Yeah, we know who DK Metcalf is. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Kenneth Walker, he's been amazing. The O-line's been holding up. What's that leave? Geno Smith. He hasn't been that guy.
I know.
Like I told you this a few weeks ago, and I think a few people they just slid it off. They were like, oh, 1 bad game, 2 bad games. Nah, man, this is I'm worried.
They have a big matchup this week against the Browns, so we'll see.
But they had a huge chance to beat the Bengals while they're a little bit down, and Geno Smith blew it. They lost to these injured Bengals.
Yeah, they did. That was kind of a bad
Come on, man. he's what's holding them back, and it's really sad to see because he played great last year and his career was kind of revived. But I really worry about Geno Smith holding back the Seahawks. Like, I don't believe in them because of Geno Smith. But if you had a quarterback like, I don't know, if you put Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, anyone a little bit better than Geno Smith, and you have a Super Bowl in Seattle, man.
Yeah.
It just worries me. Anything else? What are we thinking?
I
think we're done with
do we
calls.
talk Merrimack hockey for like?
No.
Are we not doing that?
No.
I want to mention, me and RG, we were watching UFC last Saturday.
We got Brian.
You can talk about that.
So I just want to say, the Ankalaev Walker fight, that was so disappointing, bro. The Johnny Walker.
He was fine.
He was fine.
He can't speak English.
It's a language barrier. Like, come on.
Come on.
That was so disappointing.
They call
Johnny
a fight. Oh,
we do have a call coming
it's
in now.
probably Marcus.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Colin? All right, what's up?
What is it?
So, if Matt keeps it up like this, how many games could the Pats win?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. I agree. I think that's where you expect the
Because they put the
Belichick
Commanders,
team.
the Broncos, the Jets, the Giants. That's 6.
Giants are not good though.
That's
what I'm saying, that's a
Belichick-led
win.
team
alright.
with a good defense and
And
an
the
easy
Colts
schedule.
maybe for 7 wins. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I think that's fair.
I think the expectations for them to get Caleb Williams, I think that was a little unfair. Like,
Because-
we know that's not happening.
Yeah, but
We
the
know
thing
that's
is,
not happening.
right? Mac Jones doesn't have weapons. If you ever gave him a top receiver, maybe he could be really good.
Yeah.
Just maybe. But they just don't put weapons around him. They
Yeah.
don't help them.
And they don't protect them. Like,
no, the offensive line's terrible.
and the offense they run, I don't believe in it in this modern day NFL. Like, it's not good.
I don't know. We just don't have the weapons to go for.
Yeah, I agree. You'll
I
never
agree
see
with
you'll never see a Belichick-led team be that bad, especially with the schedule. I mean, the schedule is easy, like we've been over.
Well, if they beat the Dolphins, hold on here.
If they were to beat the Dolphins, that'd be big. But I don't even think we're gonna.
I don't think we'll be in the. I think they covered the spread though.
I don't think we're gonna have that.
Never know.
Hey, you never know what happened the last time they played them. Right?
Yeah, you never know.
It was like a touchdown game. All right, so we got like a minute left. I'll say one thing about Merrimack hockey. I know Marcus, you're listening. You bash us about our hockey takes, but hey, it's gonna be a good game. I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be a good game. They're playing at Matthews Arena. They're playing at Northeastern. It's on Saturday, I think, right?
And who do you have winning?
I'm not gonna say who I have winning, because I don't really know. I think it's gonna be a very close game.
You know,
it's gonna be very close.
you know, Northeastern was a top 3 team in the Hockey East last year, right? Like they're a good team. Like this is not gonna be an easy game.
It's not gonna be an easy game. I'll say that.
Without
It's gonna be
Alex
close.
Jeffries, I might have to pick Northeastern. I'm sorry. I don't think Merrimack should beat them.
Yeah, without Jeffries, it's gonna be really tough to beat a team like Northeastern.
Marcus,
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
top tier
I just
team.
have to.
It's gonna be hard.
I don't know who I'm gonna pick. I haven't seen too much of Merrimack yet, and like they played St. Lawrence and Clarkson, so
They're terrible.
what does that even mean? Like, but all right.
Yo, one more thing I want to mention before we end this podcast. We get the Rangers or the Diamondbacks.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, I was gonna say this World Series goes 6 or 7, but I think the Rangers pitching staff with Montgomery, Scherzer, Evaldi, like those 3 guys against Gallen and Kelly, like I got the Rangers in 5, maybe 6.
But look, the Diamondbacks just beat the Phillies.
Okay, and the Rangers.
The Phillies are
I'm
very,
taking
very
the
talented.
Diamondbacks to win the World Series.
Like the Diamondbacks are kind of defying the odds. Everybody had the Phillies. Everybody said,
I had the
"Oh,
Phillies too. Yeah.
the Phillies are way more talented." But the Diamondbacks,
Yes,
the
but
Diamondbacks
the
won,
Rangers,
so.
they had to beat Baltimore, who was the best team in the AL
You said the
this year.
same thing about the
Record-wise,
Phillies, though.
record-wise,
Sure.
they were the best team in the AL.
You did say the best. I don't
Okay,
know.
and then they beat the Astros,
I get
who are
it.
good every year.
It's hard to go against Texas in this situation. It is. I get it.
I'm not going against Texas.
That's fair.
All right, yeah. Thanks for a great show. It's Halloween weekend tomorrow, so very excited about that. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.